Guys, children's, are you ready to be homeschooled? You ready for lesson number 1? My coop porch does not belong to you. This is my coop porch, not yours. What do you think? Are you ready for lesson number 1, guys? Oh my goodness, what are you doing pecking on them for? What are you doing that for, kiddos? Okay, let's go. Hi everybody, this is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I was going to do another video, but I just want to do a very quick video on evidence that I just uncovered today while cleaning the vinyl siding. So we'll take a walk around the house here. I don't even have my shoes on. I hope everybody's doing okay. This is Lorraine here in Eastern Kentucky, and I was cleaning the back of the vinyl siding and I noticed this. This is an intentional cut. This is an intentional scrape. This is likely the perpetrator's psychopathical signature. They usually leave some bizarre signature. But this is a cut into the vinyl siding. And very often they use these Illuminati symbols. It will be a crescent moon, the whoosh symbol, you know, from Nike, just do it. The all-seeing eye, a triangle, a check mark, a square. They'll use their pedophile signatures, as I demonstrated in the enamel, the white enamel wash basin that was scratched to the base metal last week. So here they are, fun in the sun. But I'm going to get my boots on and take you for a very quick walk to that building over there. That is the building that the former owner built. It's called Sparks Grocery, and I was cleaning out the left portion there. It appears as if the criminals have been in there, tipped over a bunch of boxes, poured, you know, water on some things, broke some other items. So I was cleaning it out, and at first I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it was a raccoon, maybe it was an accident, maybe a chicken got up there or a cat. But they always leave their telltale signs, their symbols that they were there. So I'm not going to use the plausible deniability excuse that it was a chicken or bird or raccoon. I'm going to call a spade and say that it was intentionally vandalized by a perpetrator, by a criminal, by a stalker. And let me just hold this up here a second, get my shoes. I apologize for this delay. I should have had my boots on. But I've been doing house organizing today. I live in a very small house. For those of you who don't know my story, I lived at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, Northfield Estate, as the original owner for 30 years. I moved there with my ex-husband, renovated that house top to bottom after my ex-husband moved out, with the knowledge that after my daughter got into graduate school, that I would start searching for a home somewhere else in another state that was less costly. Unbeknownst to me, I became a targeted by these perpetrators in a program. You know, a lot of information has been revealed to me recently that I may have been nominated into this program by several people. and there may be several overlapping programs harassing me, which is why, compared to some other targeted people, I seem to be getting targeting that's totally off the charts. But I want to show you the evidence that the criminals were here. This is not a naturally occurring knot. This is one of those Illuminati eyes. They did it here, 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 and here. And the light is not good here. I will have to, for maybe the thumbnail, I'll bring a flashlight in here, photograph this, use it as a thumbnail. You can see this here. Oh, this is a better angle here. And you can see the little V there, the eye-shaped knot. And let's see if this works here too. Let's see. Here you go. We need to let some light into this camera here. And here. And here. But so, yeah, it likely was not an animal that came in here and knocked everything over. I mean, it's always a possibility, but, you know, as I mentioned, the criminals always leave their telltale signature that they've been here. And they are destroying a lot of things on my property. Like, for instance, I painted this railing, and they go around to all my railings and scratch the paint off. You see here? This is how evil and nasty and sinister these people are. And as I mentioned, it's like one step forward and 2 steps behind, because, you know, paint is expensive. It's very time consuming. And, you know, under normal circumstances, when you paint a railing, it will last for several years. But here, it only lasts for a couple of months, because as soon as I perform some repair on the property, literally within 28 or 48 hours, it's damaged. And the reason that's a possibility is because I'm under 24/7 surveillance, which is likely remote neural monitoring, right? Synthetic telepathy, where they tap into my cortical, into my brain, and can actually see through my eyes or see images through my eyes. And that, yes, that it is a technology. And no, this is not sci-fi. This is not conspiracy. This is actually, there are patents for this technology. And it's military grade. That it allows the military to go into places and utilize their 5 senses as a camera that will report back to their general, the station, wherever they're being monitored, because obviously the military's being monitored 24/7 as well. But there's no way for anyone to know where I hide something, right? Where I hide something in my house or on my property, what I do, any kind of repairs I do. I live literally in the middle of nowhere. The only way for somebody to know that I painted that is for somebody to be monitoring me 24/7. And this is why the FBI places people on terrorist watch lists under surveillance. And you can go back to the article, the stellar article that Karen Stewart, retired NSA intelligence analyst, wrote at the activist post called, "Is this called surveillance?" or "Why is this called surveillance?" I will post the link to that underneath this video. Just give me a little bit of time. But basically, what is surveillance? Surveillance is watching someone. Surveillance is not torturing them. Surveillance is not vandalizing the things that you're watching someone do. Surveillance is not watching me take a shower. Surveillance is not watching my intimate relationships with people. Surveillance is not breaking into my house, poisoning my pets, or stealing them. That's not surveillance. The reason we're under surveillance is so they can carefully script a torture program to steal, harass, torment, vandalize whatever that person has. And then they set up the quote-unquote the gang stalkers, which are basically your neighborhood community snitches, the community watch groups, the Freemason losers, the Eastern Star losers, the cult members, the CULT members, because they are a cult. They band together like a cult, thinking that they're doing the community such a justice by tormenting one or two people in the community while they're paid under the table with gift cards. That's why I call them the gift card whores. And that's what they are. They're whores. And this is a partial reason for the downfall of this once wonderful country. The fact that we have been able to co-opt probably 40% of the population to harass their neighbors, snitch. And there are lots of videos on this. A lot of times, people will call the woman bitching at somebody a Karen, quote unquote. And, they really do need to change that term, because there are a lot of good women out there named Karen, and I'm sure that it's an insult to them. But you understand what I'm saying. You've got these crazy people having hissy fits, histrionics. I call them histrionics, and that is histrionic personality disorders. There is such a thing as histrionic personality disorder. And it's somebody who's overly dramatic, makes a big deal out of everything, total chaos, energy vampire. And that's what these quote-unquote gang stalkers, these community watch people are. They are coached and trained in the war of hatred. They hate, despise, they have contempt for the person they're tormenting, where secretly underneath that, the reason is because you are everybody. Everything that I am, everything about me is everything that they are not. So rather than go to work, the way I did, I worked 4 jobs at one time, starting business, took care of a house, my daughter. I was involved in all of her after-school activities. I was the brownies and Daisy's mom. I was the cookie mom, driving my daughter back and forth to gymnastics and meetings. And then her academic testings and stuff, because she was an academically talented student. So rather than work on themselves, they have to harass those 1 or 2 people in the communities that embody what they aren't. And they have contempt and hatred for that person. It's a hate crime. It's bullying on steroids. But we're not talking about grade school bullies. We're not talking about middle school bullies or even high school bullies. We're talking about full-blown 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old psychopaths that are paid with your tax dollars. That's right, folks. This quote-unquote program is sponsored with your tax dollars. Some people are saying that the biggest scam on the American public is what happened over these last 2 years with, Mr. Fauci and the jabby wabby and all that. I beg to differ. There are so many more. There are so many more. And when you start going down the rabbit hole, do a little research on the sinking of the Titanic, for instance. Or the holiday that just passed, that I was very upset over. But even more than that, this war against innocent people. More than 2 million innocent U.S. citizens, people, have been placed on a covert terrorist watch list. There are 5 or 6 of them. And once you get on one, they switch you from one to the next to the next. And the reason they're able to do this is because of these neighborhood snitches. They will do anything humanly possible to get you and me to act out against them so they can record and videotape it and submit it so that they can renew their Homeland Security, National Security grant. That's why I call them gift card whores, 'cause that's what they are. Honestly, guys, I don't know anybody on my block that works. I don't. Even the youngest women around here don't work. So I remember in one of my videos, I caught my crazy neighbor posting no trespassing signs on my property across the street. And she turns to me and she says, well, I don't know how you get your money, but I worked hard, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, she's got to be kidding. She's got to be kidding me. She's a community stalker. Do you think her husband, who plowed down my brand new gate across the street in broad daylight wearing a black ski mask, is that normal behavior? Is that something that would be forgiven by your sheriff's department? By your police department? Well, it shouldn't. But when you're a gift card whore who was ready to lose his house because of a balloon payment that he couldn't afford, people will sell themselves out to do anything to harass another person. But even if they're not being reprimanded by the sheriff's department, which they should be, because, you know, the sheriff has sold his soul to the devil too. But in the end, karma's coming. You know, I call it Karmageddon. Karmageddon is a new word order. Because karma is on its way for all of these people that have committed felony crimes against me and you and other targeted people. And we have an agreement here. Are you in agreement? I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. But I wanted to show you also that the stream behind my house, look at it, folks. There is not a drop of water here. Not a drop of water, even though it's dripping off my house at night. Not a drop. Because the criminals have rerouted the water or siphoned it, or they did something to alter the flow of this water. At some point I will be walking back in here. I do see that the criminals did something up here where they've actually dug out a portion of the bank. And it's definitely not naturally occurring because the water never gets up that high. So I will show you at some point. You can see it here, that they're intentionally digging out this tree. They want it to fall. You see that? You see that, folks? They just started doing that within the last few weeks. And they did it to another tree. You know, on the other side of my property. They're doing it here too. And like I said, the water doesn't get up this high. You see that? The criminals are digging it out. They want to make it look like it's happening naturally, but it's not. They're actually digging it because they want this to collapse. They want this tree to collapse. They are trying to destroy my property. And the reason is because they know my property is valuable. It's got several entrances and it can be broken up into multiple properties. And that would just kill them if I sold up my property, you know, to Bill Gates or the Chinese or some farmer. Even the Amish would love this property. So they will do everything humanly possible to destroy it in the worst possible way. But I'm documenting this, folks. And also the Division of Water, who I contacted in May to inspect the creek and the retaining wall that has fallen into the creek, and how our local Judge Gabbert, who's an executive judge, not a judge, he's in charge of the construction department, the road department. He's supposed to do the road work, and he hasn't. So even the Division of Water has been contacted to not help. Imagine that, folks. The Division of Water, an environmental protection agency, not performing their job. They haven't been here. It's September already. It doesn't take 3.5 months to inspect a creek up there or the retaining wall. The person that I spoke to there was actually going to fine the county. He was going to fine them. And then I guess after he was contacted, he backed off. He's not returning my calls or anything. It tells you just how deep these octopus tentacles run and how scared people are. They're scared. They're losers. They will sell their souls to not do their jobs properly. They'll do anything. Anything. People are scared of people with badges, and they don't do their research. They don't do their homework. I planted some zinnias recently, so they finally popped up here. And my little chicklet boy, he ran out. Here he is. Look how cute he is there. And the criminals, yes, you see here, this was my strawberry, my raised strawberry bed. And the criminals took my ground cherry plant from my porch and planted it in here. You can see these are ground cherries. And now I have to reach in here and find the ground cherries. This is what they look like. And the chickens really like them a lot. I like them too. When they're really ripe, they taste a little bit like a pineapple. Got a little bit of a pineapple-y taste. The chickens love them. They'll fight each other over these. I'll get some more later. So, this video is basically to present some evidence. Say hello to everybody. Welcome to the newcomers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And I know it's not your usual homesteading channel. I mix a combination of my gardening, animal raising, along with how I deal with the criminal stalking and harassment and the techniques, the psychological operation that has been warred against me for the last 10 years. And I have documented both on my Facebook pages. I have 2 Facebook pages. One is called Targeted Pets. And I have to warn you that some of the photos are graphic of what they did to my rescue cats. I have another Facebook page called Community Stalking Vandalism Patterns, where I have documented some of the food and home vandalism both in Manalapan, New Jersey and here in Kentucky. I'm not on Facebook very often, maybe once a week. So I don't update it very often anymore, but it is there and you can view it, comment. If you've had any issues with your own pets, feel free to post a story or a photo. And just as a reminder, I have a 501c3 nonprofit cat rescue called Freya's Cat Rescue. And anybody who would like to donate for free, you can select us on Amazon Smile, which is the charity portion of Amazon. I know everybody shops on Amazon. And you can find my charity link in the comments section down below. We also have a link for you to receive a discount off of your first purchase of Misfits Market organic food and produce that would be delivered to your home. And then we've also become a partner with She Is of the Woods, April Graham, who is just amazing. You have to check out her YouTube channel. She goes out into the woods and collects herbs, creates tinctures, balms, wonderful, wonderful creams, nice packaging and stuff. And she really knows her stuff, and she will educate you and tell you how smart you are. So it's fun listening to her videos. But this is Lorraine from Alternative Homesteading signing off for now. I hope everybody's having a good day. And for those targeted people that are listening, this is going to end at some point. It's all coming out and being exposed. These people are being exposed. And the people behind it, like this bug that's following me, are being exposed. And I've actually noticed that there are several YouTube creators that are targeted. Some have kind of intimated that they are, or know that they are, and then others don't know that they are yet. But you can see all the signs there. But I hope everybody's having a good day. And I'm going to get some more work done here. And I'll try to get a really good photo of those Illuminati eyes that are burned into the shelf of that building.